This Warriors Life podcast 2024, another episode of That's My Team, Will Evans and Brad Larking. We've just been sitting here talking to each other for about a minute and a half, thinking the live stream was going. It wasn't. So, fuck, there we go. We're on fire already. But if you're
Take
joining
two.
us on YouTube, the Facebook stream, or the Instagram stream, welcome. Hopefully it goes a bit smoother than that start did. And if you've been sitting there wondering where we are, sorry about that.
Here we are. We're just talking to ourselves, which is probably not unusual. And you didn't miss anything. It's not as if we really cracked the code of what's going on this year.
No. Yeah, exactly. Mate, how are you?
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Will. All right. Little bit knackered. Like I was telling you a minute ago. I was at home on the coast in the weekend. Done a 7-hour drive there, and the old man had his retirement party. Old Leslie, the people's champ. So had a bit of a knees up with him, and then jumped in the car and whistled on back. So a whole lot of driving. Jesus, I'm sick to death of it.
Mate. Brutal. That is one hell of a haul, man.
Oh, stocks. Yeah, it is. It is. Oh, well, it's got to be done every now and then. It was a good weekend. So took Odie. Me and Odie done a roadie together.
Yeah,
what'd you
stuff.
do, man?
Just hung out in home, really. Watched the game and, kicked around. Caught up with some people over the weekend. It was bloody good, actually.
Socialising.
If you're listening, mate. Missed your buddy, so it was good to hang out with him on Saturday, and niece's birthday party and that sort of carry on. So yeah.
Jeez,
bit of footy training on Sunday, actually. So yeah, first hit out with the Eastern Blues.
So, for the old
oil
foul.
Yeah.
Nice. Many of the boys turn up.
Yeah, I had about 16, so pretty decent turnout, really.
Good effort.
For a Sunday morning, 10:30. Geez, my goal kicking form was fucking dreadful though, so that's no good. Bit of a worry. I have to send me down back, I think.
God, I don't get that game. Just fucking pick it up. Just pick it up, man. And run. And tackle.
Come and have a run for us, bro. You'd love it.
It's like that ball's made of soap or something. Seagulls fighting over a chip that game.
It is bloody slippery. But no, it's a good game.
Anyway. What's happening in our game?
If you just stumbled upon the live stream here, we've obviously got a podcast attached to this, recorded with Fonzie this afternoon. Go and check that out. Reviewed the Tigers game, and follow us subscribe on Spotify, YouTube. Plenty of content coming your way.
Yeah.
Brad. The reason we're here now is to await Teamless Tuesday, dropping in about 10 minutes. Big game against the Eels. Kept the dream alive with a 28-16 win over the Tigers. Pretty bloody sloppy, mate.
Was it? I haven't seen anything of it. I just got back into work. So yeah, I didn't think it looked. I was watching it through the old man's kitchen. I was having a beer out the back from my mate Johnny, and I was just sort of watching it through the old man's kitchen window. So that's about all I know of the game. And it didn't look that flash, even from that little of a view.
Yeah, no, pretty scrappy. Decent highlights, some good tries in the end, but pretty frustrating watch. As Fonz and I talked about, belatedly got out to a decent lead at the end of the first half with a couple of quick tries and then let the Tigers back into it. Bit of a running theme, particularly in games at Mount Smart this season. To be only 16-10 up with 12 to go was incredibly frustrating. I was blowing up Deluxe in the lounge here. Molly ducking for cover. And then a couple of late tries to seal it to make it a little bit better than it probably was. But yeah, below par, certainly going to need to be better to get to the finals with some of those tougher games, even to beat the Eels. The Eels were pretty decent, I thought, against Melbourne, the later leading Storm, and a bit unlucky in that one. So yeah, I think they could be pretty tough this weekend, Brad. Plenty to look forward to in a few minutes' time. Teamless Tuesday. There's a few rumours swirling around that there could be some superstars returning. We know there's a couple definitely available again back from injury. So yeah, it's a big one. It is. for the run
Yeah.
home. Hopefully, we can get our best team back on the park ASAP. But we'll see how we go. Anything that you're hoping to see? I know that there's obviously a bit of noise around fullback again with Roger having a big game. Chance will be back with hearing. Tantua Piki definitely available. So, how do you think that puzzle's going to unfold?
Yeah, I think they'll stay true. Roger did have a great game back there, but geez, any fullback worth their salt against Tigers should have racked up a few meters, shouldn't they? I don't know. I think I still like the idea of having it already. We've already got our two options at fullback. I think Roger's just a desperation move almost, but if either of the other two are back, I think they get first dibs at it.
Yeah,
especially we're still
just
short in the
comment.
centres, and yeah.
Again, welcome to anyone that's watching live, just getting the hang of this. But the comment thread to Waiwai, thanks for joining us. He reckons I was a bit hard on old Ed Cossey. That's not really like me. I'm usually pretty generous to Big Ed. Thought he deserved a 6.5 or 7 rating. I'm going to be honest, he was decent, but a big error on the goal line held him back, and I thought he was, reasonable. Aside from that, I thought 6 was fair enough. Didn't do anything catastrophic, didn't do anything amazing. Decent finish to score a try, but yeah, I'll stand by my 6. Thanks to Waiwai. Good day to DDB Danzo, long time listener. My mum's in there as well.
Your mum, or is it DDB's mum?
No.
I thought DDB was telling us that my mum's in here too.
No.
But is it your mum?
I'm telling you that my mum is here. Yeah.
I thought you were telling me that DDB's mum was in there as well. Oh well. No. See wonder what his mum's up to. But anyway, Carol's in there. Hey, Carol, how are you, doll?
And Brian Mixonpick is in here as well. He's just admiring your shirt. So, g'day, Brian.
Still in my work fatigues, Bri. Haven't had much time to do anything else.
We'll have a bit of mix and pick chat for you after the team list naming, but it was actually Inga's League wrap up that got the win, a 10-way tie that got for 8 points, and old Inga's League wrap up. He does a great live show on Wednesday nights covering the entire NRL with his mate Richie on New Zealand Sport Radio, I think, if you search on Facebook. Yeah. So check that out, and his written content as well, Inga's League wrap up. But so stoked to be sending a exclusive This Warriors Life t-shirt out to that fella.
Yeah, that's a deserving winner, isn't it? He puts in a bit of effort. It's nice to reward someone like that. Sort of does a lot for no reward. Yeah, good on you, Brad.
Yeah. Probably time for a couple of 2-minute Tuesday takes, Brad, before we get into Team List Tuesday. The Warriors, they've officially sold out every game. How about that? Every home game outsmart. Amazing.
That's pretty ridiculous. Even with the up and down and the form. Well, what am I trying to say? It's nothing like last year anymore, the form-wise, but people are still keen to get there and make it a big part of their weekends. Yeah, that's a ripper effort. Has it ever been done? I suppose someone with a 3,000 stadium probably has, but...
well, apparently it's the first time ever, and it's a massive achievement for everyone at the club, I think, particularly because of, the results haven't quite been going according to plan. It's even more of a tick for everyone working behind the scenes at the club, and just that is a flow on from last year, but amazing stuff. Now, Brad, I've got a couple of stats around this for you, just to illustrate how amazing it is that they've managed to rack up 20,000+ crowds and obviously sell out every game this year. But also last year, there's a couple that dipped just under 20,000. But from the end of 1996, which was when that kind of first Warriors fanaticism bubble burst, until their return in 2022 after COVID, or that late 2022 when they had a few games here, only 20 games from the end of 96 to 2022 did they have a crowd of 20,000 plus at Mount Smart. Since then, 18 of 22 games. So that sort of illustrates how crazy this phenomenon has been. Obviously, 2 of 4 games in that 2022 homecoming. all but 2 games last year and then every game this year. So yeah, great stuff.
Jeez whiz, and that's
And
it. That'd be counting semi-finals in that original 22, wouldn't it? Like home semis, which would have sold out. So
So there's
regular
only a
season
few, but
regular season's games, it would have been even less than that. Shit, it's a good effort, isn't it? Shit, that's a good effort.
A couple of other people commenting in here. Riley Leonard, mate, your question's a bit too risque for us to take on live. We'll have a crack at it during the next one where we can potentially edit it. But yeah, she's a bit rough to take on live. Connor, been listening to the pod since COVID times. Good on you, mate. Good to have you here. Brad Nani Laumape and probably the most striking thing about this has been that the club put a social post quoting him and saying that, he'd look at coming back and was, quite keen on the idea and looking to get his agent involved. However, sort of true that is, if it was just reported in the media, you'd take it with a grain of salt. But the fact that the Warriors, took the time to put that post out, it's an interesting one. It's almost sort of unprecedented, really, unless they're actually helping drive it. But certainly got everyone's blood pumping on a Monday morning.
Is it even in a playing capacity? Isn't he? How old is the guy?
31. I think he's 31 and he's been playing for 3 years in France and Japan. So I think he's still got a bit of life left in him.
Yeah. Interesting. It is puzzling. When I read it, I was like, well, that's an odd little headline that I didn't think I'd be reading on a Monday morning or whenever I first put eyes on it. Yeah, I don't think much of it. Like you said earlier on the phone, it'd be kind of cool as a novelty signing, but you wouldn't want to be putting yourself out signing them. I don't think.
You just don't know who you're getting. I don't think, for us anyway. We don't watch a lot of Japanese rugby. We don't know if he's been carving up or playing at all, really. When he was playing for the Hurricanes, geez, and that was back when I did watch a little bit of rugby, and man, he was the most dynamic player in the world, I think.
Yeah, he was ridiculous. But I just don't know. I don't watch enough rugby to know where he's at now.
Yeah, and he was one of those ones that got away. When he left, I was gutted. When you saw him carve up and make the All Blacks, I was gutted that he wasn't still with us. He had that big suspension in 2014, and then he did an ACL in the 2015 preseason. Just kind of fizzled for him, but disillusioned, and went to rugby where he started out. And made a great go of it, 15 tests for the All Blacks, but probably one of those guys that didn't get enough All Blacks footy as much as he deserves. So, an interesting one. I mean, I'm sure they'll do their due diligence, and if he's good enough, he might get a crack. And it is one of those positions where we still don't have those, nailed down guns. Maybe Leotawa is starting to show that, but
it isn't. It's still not one of our strengths, is it? We do have a few options, but the jury's out on a couple of those options still at centre. So, worth having a sniff at. Professional adage. Jeez, he did take to rugby. Jesus, he done well when he went there. Yeah.
Steamrolling. Great footwork. Incredible footwork. He just did one more season to get to grips with the NRL, and I think he would have been a gun. Still remember him as a rookie in that 2013 season that I go on about so often, that mid-season run. He was, him and Hurrell on one edge. It was brilliant. Team list drop, Brad. We've been jabbering on after a false start, obviously. A few things to cover off after this as well, but don't want to lag too much, mate.
They'll go somewhere else.
Lay this on everyone. Now, bear with me.
Have you got the tech savvy to make it a little bit easier on everyone at home?
Yeah, it's coming at you.
Attaboy. Oh, this is a little bit new. There you go.
Hang on, Matt. It's coming.
Yeah. What a sit.
There we go. We're away.
How that? Did you
Yes.
You just you get another sticker on the camera then.
Yeah. Said to quickly print that off and then paste it
Stick
up
on the
in
lens.
front of the camera there, mate.
Yeah, sweet.
So,
Right,
how about this?
Wow.
Geez,
Wow.
it's all happening. Chance Nickel-Klodstad back at fullback. Dallin and Roger Tuivasa-Sheck on the wings. Exciting. Finally get to see Roger on the wing. Ali Lautawa and Moala Graham-Taufa retaining their centre spots. Chanel Harris-Tavita and Sean Johnson returning. How about that?
Wow.
Tamate Martin looks like he's out of the 17 altogether. The pack, assuming it's unchanged, Adam Fanua, Blake Wade Egan, Mitch Barnett, Marata Nukore, Kurt Capewell and Dylan Walker, and an interchange of Freddie Lussick, Tom Ale coming in for the injured Jackson Ford, Jazz Tavanga, Leka Halasima. Wow, I am pretty bloody excited about this 17, Brad.
Oh, that is an absolutely delightful backline, isn't it? That is almost perfection in what I sort of pick as my dream back. Yeah, look at that. That's a pretty shit hot looking backline, man. Wow.
Yeah. Geez, rough on Tamate Martin. He was a bit of a saviour there during that mid-season kind of revival.
He might be toughed as well. He's been doing a bit of work, man. He's had a pretty tough 10 weeks. Probably doing the world of good to have a week. Yeah, it is tough, but at the same time, someone's got to go, don't they? I think Chanel's a better 6.
Yeah, Fonzie and I talked about on the podcast this afternoon. It's as tough as it is on Tamate. It wasn't working when it was Sean and Tamate together, and that Chanel was probably a better fit for him. Yeah, rough on him. He did help us out in a huge important period of the season. Dipped over the last few weeks and has kind of paid the price, I guess. And it's become quite apparent that Sean is our best option in the number 7. If fit, confident he'll be fit, they wouldn't be chucking him in there if he wasn't.
Yeah, he must be at 100, or else they wouldn't cock up like that, surely.
Yeah, and on this game too, it's not. I mean, I know that we have to win it, but it's winnable without him still.
Yeah, that is awesome.
I love it.
The whole team. I like the whole team, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm excited to see. Well, I thought Ali Lautawa, a breakout game for him last Friday. Moala Graham-Taufa, mixed bag, but some really good parts, and for him to combine, particularly with Sean Johnson on that right hand side, which has been pretty stagnant over the last 4 or 5 weeks. I think he might get a bit more good ball. Chanel, I think, has been underrated. His contribution on the left hand side there, and just the balance of those halves is going to be a lot better. Chance, great to see him back. I think as good as Roger was last week, particularly Chance's sort of timing with Sean Johnson sweeping around the back is going to be a big boost, and he does a lot of the same things that Roger does well. Almost as well, and some things better, slightly safer, I think. And Dallin and Roger on the wing, got to be pretty pumped about that.
So is that MGMT and Rog on the same side?
No, well, it will be MGMT and Dallin on the same side again as it was last week, I imagine.
That's a couple of beautiful looking combos on edges all of a sudden, isn't it? There's a bit of danger in that.
Yep. Freddie Lussick retaining that spot on the interchange. Do you reckon there's any chance, Brad, that we might see a Tamate? We've been calling for Tamate to be used as a 14 option, and that we reckon he could handle the workload in the middle, particularly if it's only for 15, 20 ideally.
Yeah,
and it offers a lot more versatility. Haas fullback.
I'd sort of, for the limited minutes Lussick gets anyway, surely one of those blokes on there can play 9 minutes at dummy half. I'd like to see a Tane Taupiki as number 14.
Yep, don't mind
I don't
that
know.
as well.
I just don't know how he comes on and who he takes off, because you don't want to use an interchange on a back. I suppose is the shithouse thing of that. Yeah,
it's a luxury interchange.
Yeah, No, I'm pretty happy with all that. Lussick's going well. Is he straight head to head with his brother as well? Both wearing 14.
Yeah, they are brothers, aren't they? Joey Lussick
I'm
and
pretty
Freddie
sure
Lussick.
they are.
So
Yeah.
Cool. That'd be good to see them go toe to toe at some point late in the game.
They'd be stroppy bastards towards each other, I reckon.
Should we go through this Parramatta team, Brad, see what we're up against this week?
Yeah.
Clint Gutherson at fullback, bit of a thorn in our side over the years. Jake Tungor scored his first NRL try last weekend against the Storm, and Sean Russell on the wings, Will Penasini and Blaze Talangi. So 4 absolute tyros and they're classy young centres. Exciting battles there.
Yeah.
Dylan Brown, I think the danger man for them this weekend when he gets going. He's obviously a lot better if Mitch Moses is in the team, but he's, I think, their key. Dejan Arce, the former Warrior, versatile but limited, I would say, competitor. Certainly happy not to see Moses there, but he can do the job if Ford's get on a roll. Arce, he's had some good games in first grade. The pack, probably their strength, I guess, this weekend. Regan, Campbell, Gillard, Whittamu, Greg, the props, Brendan Hands at hooker, Sean Lane, Bryce Cartwright, and Ryan Madison. Plenty of ball playing and dangerous edge running in that back row. Pretty pedestrian looking bench, I think, probably compared to ours. Joey Lussick, Joe Ofahangawe, Luca Moretti, and Dan Kerr, who don't know too much about. The other interesting point about our bench, I was stoked to see Tommy Ale coming back into it. Had a big game, New South Wales Cup, 142 metres in about 40 odd minutes last week. Thought he was a bit unlucky to drop out of the team when he did, and a genuine prop coming in, whereas Ford was sort of covering middle and edge, but more sort of soaking up some of those middle interchange minutes. I think Ale's probably a better fit, especially you've got the Halasima threat as your sort of edge replacement, and plenty of versatility in that pack. So I like that.
Yeah. I like that cover in the middle as well. So Lecker's just going to be out there on an edge, charging. Jazz on you. Didn't get over for a try last week, did he? Bastard.
Nah, limited minutes.
Nice. Yeah. We got
limited minutes. But he did. He got stuck in while he's out there. High work rate, 16 tackles, 4 runs for 38 meters in his 18 minutes, and we'll look forward to another action-packed cameo, or maybe a bit more from Jazz this weekend. Adam Fanua-Blake, geez, if you didn't see it, Brad, you wouldn't know, but Adam Fanua-Blake was absolutely outstanding. Besides, scoring what I'd say the decisive try again late in the game, powering over. A 220 odd meter contribution. It was men against boys in the middle of the field last weekend. It certainly looked like a guy that was has bought in for the rest of the season, wants to go out on high. So
he is. The last couple of weeks, even in those losses, he was huge. Oh, it's going to be hard watching him do that for Sharks next year, isn't it? Let's just enjoy this year. Let's just shut up, Brad. Yeah. Just enjoy this year. Be thankful for what you've got.
Don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened, or is that how the saying goes?
Don't cry because it's over. Smile. Oh, yeah, that's not a bad saying. Yeah. I've never heard it in my life, so I can't tell you if it's right or not. But
you haven't been reading your inspo quote books. And obviously Mitch Barnett absolutely on fire, and Dylan Walker, I think, doing a great job in that lock role as well. So I'm just ecstatic with the naming of that 1 to 7, and much more confident than I was. I think, Sean, obviously a lot of pressure on him because it's Sean, and because there's been a lot made about the halves this year, and probably less pressure with Tamate not going so well in these last few weeks. Easier for Webster to bring Sean in without too much. Without worrying too much.
I just really do hope that he is at 100. It sucks to have him out there limping around again. So he must be good. Far out. We could have won a couple of games the last couple of weeks with his experience. So
he would have iced a couple.
Yeah, perfect timing. Oh, Shawnee
does get
J.
tight, which this one definitely could. Be pretty happy to have him in the saddle there. And Fonzie will be, go and have a listen to today's pre-recorded podcast. Myself and Fonzie, This Warrior's Life, on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. This was the exact lineup that we could see taking the Warriors to the finals on this tightrope walk.
Atta boy.
Sean Chanel combo, so very exciting. With Chance back at fullback and Roger on a wing.
Is that pod out yet? Is that pod out yet? Or are you going to put it out after this?
Brad.
Oh, it is good.
No, it's
I was going to say it's out before because
yeah.
if you put it out after, everyone's going to go, "What a load of horse shit, man!" He just waited for that, quickly edited that in, and now they look like bloody geniuses. Maggots.
Go and have a look.
Sweet. Well done, lads.
Yeah, and very interesting. If this team can keep winning, I guess, with this lineup, Adam Pompey due back in round 25. I'm guessing Rocco Berry might be done for the year. He's still listed as indefinite. Hard for those guys to get back in the team. Hard for Marcelo Montoya to get back in the team.
Yeah.
It's
a niggly one.
Maybe Moala, Graham Telfer, but
even Metcalf's going to be. He's sort of the next one. He's looking at coming back soonish. I hear rumours of, is he? So that's another tough call. See how Chanel goes with Johnson the next week or so.
Yeah, so Luke Metcalf, we haven't seen those team lists drop yet, but strongly rumoured to make a return in New South Wales Cup this weekend. I guess the acid's on Chanel a little bit.
Who's on the acid? Oh, the acid's on. I thought you said Chanel's on the acid.
That was last year. That's what he's spent last year doing. Yeah, I mean, if they keep winning, they keep this combination. It's hard for for Chanel to get dropped, but Luke Metcalf's got to be a chance. He obviously had a nice little pairing with Sean throughout last year and the start of this year. Just on New South Wales Cup, Brad, they had a bit of a loss, 2014 to West Magpies. Obviously, a few of their key guys out. It was a decent watch, actually. Sio Carley, one of my young favourites in that team, scored a couple of tries. Also, Motu Posakala, another young outside back, got a try. Yeah, he was one of the things that caught my eye, Brad, but is goal kicking, and it looked like he nailed consecutive kicks from the sideline. But they both went under the bar or both fell short. You don't really see that often these days.
Got it. Dead-eyed Dick, was it? Straight down the middle, just a drop short.
Yeah, and the same thing happened to Chanel with his first kick in first grade. Beautiful kick from the sideline, dropped short, but it was at the other end. So, I don't know if the wind was swirling about, but you just don't see it that often.
Even though I've got huge, muscly legs, I always struggle to get the distance from the sideline. My kicking days.
Yeah.
Just yard or two,
dropping it over the bar.
A
couple of standouts in that New South Wales Cup game against the Magpies. The young hooker from down here in Canterbury, Makai Tafua, 45 tackles, game high in a line break. Kalani going, he might go down as a one game wonder for the Warriors. Did that one game against the Dolphins when we rested everyone before the semis, but 195 meters, 40 tackles. He just, he's their leader in that team.
He's got a motor on him, that kid, eh?
Yeah, I mean, I'd have no hesitation chucking him back into first grade if there was a spot going. Ben Farr jumping around the team list every week. Back at fullback, 184 meters, 7 tackle breaks, little live wire. I can see him playing first grade at some point.
I could see him coming in as maybe what Lussick's playing this year, a Ben Farr. Geez, he can go anywhere too on the field. He's awesome.
Yeah.
Little nugget.
And as I mentioned, Tommy Ale, 142 meters and 41 minutes and rewarded with that first grade spot. So great to see.
And where do they sit? Whereabouts are they? Do you know any of that? Is that info easy to hand? And if I vamp for a little bit and you were opening and shutting things, and it's a tough one to.
What else?
They must be close. How many? What do they do? They don't do a top 8, do they, for semis?
Yeah, top 8. I'm pretty sure
they can't do, surely, because then don't they finish a week earlier than us? Because then they play the Queensland one.
Yeah, but
You know what I mean?
well, they can still, yeah. It's at least top 6. I can't remember.
Okay.
They're sitting 5th. It's a pretty tight comp. They're actually only 1 win off 3rd. So, yeah, hopefully they can. Now that they'll probably have a few players back this weekend as well.
Who's the gun
Be
teams
very
in New South
exciting to
Wales
watch
Cup?
them.
Who's at the top? Who's in
Jesus
front of
Christ,
them?
Brad! But this isn't a pre-record, mate. You're giving me all these on the
I
fly
thought you were on
questions.
the ladder. I thought you were visually,
Yeah.
literally looking at the ladder.
I just clicked off it.
Oh,
North Sydney Bears, who had a loss on the weekend, they got pumped actually. But they're 3 points clear. The Raiders second, who we beat with Corey Horsburgh and a couple of our boys
yeah.
getting sent off.
Okay.
Bulldogs strong through the grades in 3rd spot, and then us and the Newtown Jets tied for 4th. So yeah, and
Nice.
there's a couple of teams sniffing around just behind us, Penrith and St George Illawarra. Exciting comp, and can't wait
Yeah.
to watch those boys go around in
Jeez,
the finals.
if the main team, if the premiership team dip out early, it's a strong team. They're going to be able to field through their final series.
Yeah. Look, Molly's just ruined my staging, Brad. Yeah, we were talking about it
She
before.
just jumped
I put
on
all
the
those jerseys
jerseys.
up. We haven't jumped up and torn them all down. Bloody hell.
Oh, what a shit show. Yeah.
Brad, I've got one. I did. I'm pretty sure I hinted at this on the pod sometime recently, but about the Warriors running the same way every time they play at Mount Smart, running the same way in the first half. So I actually went back and I dug into for my TAB Warriors stats piece this week. I actually crunched the numbers.
What stat piece is that for who? What was
for
that?
for the New Zealand
Oh,
TAB
TAB.
in the
Yeah.
Punters
TAB.
Lounge every week. So I've noticed that the Warriors keep running towards the south stand in the first half and pretty much all their home games.
Which on screen is what? Is that left to right?
Left to right, yeah.
Yeah.
So I did crunch the numbers. This year, Brad, on Friday night, that was the 7th time in 8 matches at Mount Smart that they've run towards the south stand in the first half. Now, that might not sound that amazing, but what if I told you they also ran left to right on your screen in the first half of 9 of 10 Mount Smart games last season, and 3 of 4 in those late 2022 games, the homecoming games.
What? So they know something. They prefer it because.
But they can't just do it. They still have to win the coin tosses.
But if you win the coin toss, doesn't someone choose to kick off and the other person? You can either choose to kick off and then the other one choose direction. No, I reckon.
But either way, the probability.
Wonder if that one dude that's watching live knows how a kickoff. If you know how to watch live, brother,
can you tell
what
us
happens
what's
at a
going
kickoff? I reckon no. I honestly, and I don't know why I'm arguing with you about this, but I think one person gets to choose whether to kick off, and the other one chooses the direction they run.
Either way, though, it's the likelihood, the probability that we would in what 22 games, 19 times we're running the same way in the first half. There's something going on, Brad. That'll be the first question I ask Andrew Webster the next time we lure him on here.
Righto. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Even though you break it down to that, it's still a high. Yeah, I wonder how that happens.
But why? Why do they like doing that? Because they've actually, this is my other bugbear. They haven't actually played a half decent game at Mount Smart, really, all year. The win over the Dolphins was a cracker, shorthanded, came back from 10 down.
So if you win the
wall win,
if they win the toss this weekend,
and that was the one game. Sorry, that was the one game they did run towards the north in the first half.
Was it?
And that was the best game of the season.
Yeah. So what I'm picking up here, if we win the toss this week, you want them to run the opposite way.
Yeah. Although I still kind of want this clear conspiracy to continue, so I can get to the bottom of it. Okay. But also, if it is deliberate, if they're hell bent on running that same way, why? Because it's not really working. They haven't been up to scratch in any game at Mount Smart across the 80 minutes at all this season. Going through big flat patches.
It's an odd thing. It's weird. An odd thing to be intentional.
Yeah.
Or even if they keep losing. Yeah, I don't know. I hope it continues, and I hope that the plot thickens for you and it just fries you. I really want to see you lose your mind on trying to work out what's behind all this.
Yeah, I'll be up all night. I'll be in chat rooms trying to figure it out. One other stat that I did want to touch on, Brad, before we take off: Adam Fanua-Blake getting tries 2 weeks in a row. We know he's a bit of a try scoring fiend for a prop. He's third in the NRL for forwards and try scorers behind Jeremiah Nanai and who's on 12, Hudson Young on 9, both noted and both edge forwards. So more potent generally. Adam Fanua-Blake's now got 8. He only needs 3 more tries to break the record for the most tries in the season by a Warriors forward. That'd be a hell of a record to take with him.
Oh, wouldn't it? That'd be a nice little trophy for King's Container Crew to pack up and shift over to Aussie for him.
Yeah. If we haven't mentioned King's Container Crew yet, they're our wonderful sponsors. You can see their little logo below Brad there. Head to kingscontainercrew.com for all your container packing and unpacking solutions. I was actually thinking about them and how we could add more value for King's Container Crew, Brad. Would you be okay with just chucking a Z on the end of your last name? By deed poll, Brad Larkings.
Brad Larkings. Yeah. I don't know. I'd have to talk
Trace
to a
and
few
the boys
family
as well,
members.
obviously.
Yeah, I'd have to talk it over with them first. But yeah, I don't see why not. Or at least a tattoo.
We love the Kings boys. They're outstanding. And besides being the greatest container crew outfit on the planet.
Yeah.
And wonderful supporters. Also, Ladbrokes. I am going to have a look at the odds for this weekend's game, Brad, with Ladbrokes being valued supporters of this Warriors life as well. Who have we got this weekend? We've shortened after the team list naming. We were around the $1.30 mark into $1.22. Parramatta $4.25. Geez, I have to say, the Eels is 13.5 point underdogs. If you're looking at a line bet, I think the Eels are the value there. This is going to be a dogfight this Friday.
Line bets are for nerds, eh? I don't like a line bet. Yeah.
That's because you don't understand it. You don't understand how it works.
It's the same. There's a lot flip of a coin. It's grow some balls and chuck.
Well, the point is that, it's exactly the same thing. The point is that, if Warriors are $1.22, you have to load up big time to get your value out of it. But yeah, thank you to Ladbrokes. We're well out to $101 for the premiership this year. So Brad, put your savings on that. This is juicy.
I've got some school fees in the glove box of the ute I've got to pay. I know what that might go
on. Mix and pick, Brad. We've kept them hanging on for long enough.
Ryan just sat there for half an hour.
Yeah, it's like, fuck, come on, mention us. Mix and pick, our wonderful collaborators. They, if you haven't come across the Mix and Pick game yet, you don't know what you're missing. It's basically the game version of this podcast. Questions, predictions, trivia, and a lot of it about what we talk about on the podcast. As I mentioned before, Inga's league rep taking out the win, and a well-deserved win. He's probably played every game, I reckon, Brad. I got 7 points, so I was pretty close. Brad, you were only on 4. Disappointing. Although, as Brian has pointed out, I do the trivia question, which I kind of fucked up, actually. I've got an admission to make.
Yeah, I got that wrong.
No, I didn't necessarily get the answer was still right. I just said the question was 2 players have made 50 plus appearances for West Tigers and the Warriors. Blake Aisha was one. Who's the other? There's actually another one who I forgot, but
he's not on the list.
Listed an option. Elijah Taylor was the correct answer among that. There's also Adam Blair. So thanks for Philip Beebe for ruining my day and pointing out that I got that wrong.
Hey Phil, you keen on doing a podcast, bro? I might get you got his contact details here, mate. Just I need to know a bit more than this idiot.
The Friends Challenge is up and running. I took Brian down a peg actually, 7-4 victory. So yeah, the head-to-head challenge button. Pick a new someone who doesn't play the game or someone that's already in there, and
Pick me.
flick them
Just
the
pick
link.
me
It's
if you want to win.
super easy. Yeah, super easy. Go and play that. It's good fun. And what else has he got? Oh yeah, the fan MVP vote, which is so that this week's game's already up and running. Get the Mix and Pick app. You can find all those links on all over our page. Yeah, fan MVP vote. Add in Fanua Blake and Roger Tuivasa-Sheck level with 43% of the vote each, 12% to Dallin. I thought Dallin was actually fantastic on the weekend, and he was right up there with those two for me. I thought it was his best game of the season, despite not getting those sort of regular opportunities down the right edge. Yeah. And yeah, so go and play the Mix and Pick game.
Sweet. Bit on. Jeez, there's a bit on in there.
Oh yeah, and I'm doing it live, man. Just thinking of my feet.
Yeah.
There's no stopping, no editing.
What about your tickets?
Yeah. Yes, thanks for reminding me, Brad.
Yeah,
got a couple of tickets to give away to this bloody sold out game.
This is a good way to finish. Actually, this is a real good way to finish the night.
Yeah. So got 2 tickets. I think they're South Stand tickets for this week's sold out game against Parramatta. And I'm giving away to a couple of you fellas. So if you're keen for these tickets, and make sure you're bloody going to go. I'm going to need some photo evidence that you're actually there.
Shit. Want someone from Bluff winning them.
Or someone who's going to try and scalp them. But yeah,
bastards.
So if you're keen for this, head over to This Warriors Life's Instagram page. Give us a follow if you're not following already, and drop us a DM saying that you're keen to go, and we'll put you in the draw. We'll do the draw on Thursday. Gives you a couple of days to get amongst it. I guess that's limited to people who are listening to this live podcast. We'll check it. This will actually be, if you love this live podcast so much that it's obviously
wanted to revisit
this video again on Facebook or YouTube. It'll also be available on Spotify and the other places you get your podcasts. If you want to, driving to work and you want to have a listen again, definitely don't watch it again while you're driving to work.
Yeah, no. Unless you're in the back, you can watch it in the But no, we'll do our best, and that's about. Is that about a live episode finito for the night?
Yeah, mate. Yeah. I think that's.
I'm hanging for some chicken nachos. Freezing
chicken nachos toast tonight. Yeah, did you end up making that that lasagna for Ted last week?
Nah, smart ass. He's just needling me, that little kid. I went in there and
locked him in the wardrobe for this.
Pinched him on the arm and twisted real hard.
Give him it.
It was actually surprised. He was like, when I come out there before, he goes, "What do you want me to ask tonight, Dad?" So he's looking like it could be a bit of a pest. Our first troll.
No, good on you, Ted.
Trolls? Yeah. Nah, sweet, bro. Righto. Let's do heaps of shit, eh?
Yeah. Let's go and have dinner. Thanks for everyone who's joined us, and still getting the hang of this live thing. A little bit rough, but hopefully enjoyed it. And we'll be back again. That might do us for the week, Brad. I think we've got you've got your taste of Fonzie and your match review already in the books. Go to This Warriors Life on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. Listen to that, and to listen to this, follow us on Instagram. Pack up your house with King's Container Crew. Have a wee flutter with Ladbrokes. Play the Mix and Pick game. Anyone else you want to plug, Brad?
No, I'm good. No, I'm good tonight.
I think that's pretty much everyone. Righto, I'm going to try and get this outro thing going. Just before we go, Brad, man, imagine if we just kept on going thinking that we were recording.
It would have been such a fucking ball ache. Oh, that would have been it. That would have been it. This microphone would have got biffed down the paddock. I would have just gone straight
packed the whole thing. Packed the whole thing in for good.
Put a torch to
it. But yeah.
Talking
about packing it in. Let's make like King's Container Crew and pack it up, mate. Later.